on the conflict's regional impact, we turn now to Edmund Ghareeb. He's an academic and internationally recognised expert on US-Arab relations. Good to see you again. Now, where do you think this conflict will likely lead, given the current situation on the ground in Gaza?
Clearly, the situation is getting worse and worse. It's disastrous in many ways, according to several UN spokesmen, people from UNRWA, as well as other international organizations. The attacks are continuing against civilian headquarters, against hospitals, against bakeries, against homes, actually. And many people have died. Already the number has reached close to 10,000. Most of them are children and women. And very few, actually, according to these reports, are from Hamas. And there's no fuel, very little food is reaching. Apparently, every individual in Gaza is getting 2 loaves of bread a day. And that makes it very difficult, actually. But there are more trucks going in. Apparently, there's some agreement between the United States, Israel, and Egypt to allow, basically, it's Israel which had been blocking the passage of trucks carrying aid. But the number has gone up, but it's only a fraction of what the people of Gaza need.
Yeah. Netanyahu has opposed all temporary ceasefires unless all the hostages are returned. Meanwhile, thousands more Palestinian civilians are being killed. What do you think that the US could or should be doing? Can the US force Netanyahu to a ceasefire, even just temporarily to allow aid in? Does the US have that kind of sway over Israel?
That's a very good question, because on one hand, I think the United States is capable. The United States provides Israel $3.8 billion a year. Now there's even a proposal to increase that aid to $14 billion this year, additional $14 billion. The United States has provided Israel with sophisticated weapons, with advice on how to fight wars in the cities, in Gaza. Nevertheless, what we are beginning to see, however, first of all, there are some cracks apparently within the administration. There are different views. We are hearing some people that it's immoral what the U.S. is doing, basically not pressuring Israel to reach a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire, and then to return to the peace process and provide aid and assistance to the people of Gaza, while there are those who say that the United States is adopting a moral position in support of Israel. So basically we are seeing this tension. We saw it beginning at the State Department. There were 2 important resignations of senior officials who said that they are not able to continue carrying on their work. One of them was the head of the military and political bureau in the State Department. He said he cannot morally accept that this policy of giving a blank check to Israel while the Palestinians are dying.
But if, as you say, the US has a certain amount of sway with Israel, with all of its military and financial might in its backing of the country, if Antony Blinken is now saying we need to intensify our work for peace with Arab allies right now, then why? Why is the US not forcing Israel to make a ceasefire? What's in it for them? And if not, then what does peace look like for the US if Antony Blinken is right now in the Middle East sanctioning that?
That's a very good question, really, because I think it has a number of reasons behind it. One of it, of course, is the strong support of the friends of Israel in the United States. They are influential. They are influential in both parties, especially in the leadership positions. They believe that Hamas has really shattered in many ways the sense of security of Israel, and that it must be punished. We cannot return to the status quo ante. That's one point of view. There are also those who believe that the United States cannot allow what they consider to be terrorist organizations such as Hamas and other organizations to win in this battle. And that's why they have given the green light to Israel up until now to continue to move ahead to destroy Israel. Nevertheless, What we are also beginning to see is that there are large numbers of people. There's a big difference between the younger people in the Congress, younger congressmen and senators, many of whom are beginning to criticize U.S. policy, call for immediate ceasefire, while those who favor Israel are continuing to support the Israeli position. We're seeing massive support, opposition actually, to the policy of President Biden from Arab Americans who supported President Biden when he was a candidate. Actually, 59% of the Arab Americans voted for him. Now, only 17% would support him. There are also African Americans, Hispanic Americans. The U.S. is beginning to face isolation internationally as well. These are increasing pressures. Nevertheless, the U.S. has not yet made any dramatic changes. We're beginning to see some change in the language, basically showing concern about Palestinian civilians, calling on Israel not to harm civilians, to avoid that. Right. This was one of the differences between the Arab foreign ministers who met today with Secretary Blinken. He said basically that we cannot allow Gaza to return to the status quo ante, but the Arab countries were calling on the United States to have a permanent ceasefire and to return to a genuine and real peace plan. So I think the time is quickly expanding or moving towards increasing pressure on the U.S. administration to adopt a ceasefire. Right. Today we saw a letter by 58 members of Congress, both from the House and the Senate, calling for an immediate ceasefire, for punishing the settlers who are attacking the Palestinians in the West Bank, for providing urgent aid to Gaza, and basically to return to the peace process in according with two-state solution.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you, Edmund Ghareeb, academic and internationally recognized expert on U.S.-Arab relations.